Well, we are joined now by Alhaji Tanko Yakasai, a veteran politician, also a Second Republic presidential advisor. He also did lead the Northern Elders Council once. Thank you for joining us and good morning today. We're taking a look at the state of things in the meantime. Well, lately, one of the most recent activities is that of the president declaring his assets. A previous guest also spoke about it. Let's get your impression. How significant or important do you think that is in the scheme of things with this administration?
Well, it is very important because the whole purpose of a constitutional provision for public officers, particularly elected public officers, to declare their assets is to know the extent of their wealth by the time they are taking office, and also to know what they have by the time they are leaving office. That will give you an indication whether during their tenure they enrich themselves at the expense of the public or not, for you to judge. So I think declaration of assets is a very important thing for a developing country like ours, that we are fighting corruption. And also publicly declaring assets is a very encouraging development, which was started, as you remember, by late President Umaru Musa Yar'Adua. Not only he declared his asset, his vice also declared his assets, and he also declared the asset of his wife. It should be like this for all elected officers, not just the president. I think it will help the people they are ruling to know if they are really giving the trust and the confidence people repose on them, or they are doing whatever they like.
Well, in the meantime, some of the reports that made the rounds yesterday, quoting some governors, are saying, well, we're not mandated to make it public. What the law requires is for us to send it to the Code of Conduct Bureau, and that's where it ends. So should they be encouraged to make it public, publish it, as the president at least given us a submission?
In the first place, they should be, because we are aiming at transparency, accountability. The more they do it, the more transparent they are, the more accountable they will be regarded by the public. And I think those governors who think it's not required for them to make it public, maybe they have forgotten that we now have a public Freedom of Information Act in place in the country. So members of the public, even if you don't declare it publicly, they have the right to ask, to know, and they have to be informed. I think the sooner you do it without anybody pressurizing you to do it, the better for you.
Now, let us also take a look. I mean, I think there's been some quotes in the papers concerning some of the president's appointments. And you have seen, or you were quoted as having faulted one of his appointments, especially that of the current acting chair of INEC. Would you kindly shed a little more light on that?
No, thank you very much for this question, because I've been looking for an opportunity to correct the misinformation regarding that. I did not criticize her appointment. A reporter asked me if I can help them to know about her, because she was said to be a nephew of President Buhari. I said, no, she is not. She is not even a blood relation of his. What happened was that President Buhari, her father married senior sister to President Buhari, and Buhari went to Kazauri because the father was from Kazauri to follow his sister and stay with her father. And even when the relationship between Buhari's sister and the father was no more, Buhari, because of the way her father regarded him as a son, continued to stay in Abuja, Kazauri for some time, until later on when he moved out of Kazauri. So I don't know, somebody added something. I didn't criticize her appointment, I didn't criticize her. She's my daughter, I'm a friend to her father. He was at one time my permanent secretary. Her mother is a friend to my senior wife, and she's a friend to some of my children. I see no reason why I should criticize her. The more we appoint, in fact, my name is Tanko. The meaning of Tanko in Hausa is a male child born after a series of senior female sisters. So they give us a title that Tanko, no matter that Tanko, a person who is very friendly with women because he comes after women. Not looking after them, but he came after some senior women. So I did not criticize her, and I welcome the appointment of any lady to public office so that we can balance up. I happen to be a member of NEPO, and right from 1951, NEPO has been struggling for franchise rights for northern women, for them to be given the right to contest election and be elected. And we'll continue to pursue that up to the end of the lifetime of NEPO. I worked at one time as Secretary General of that party. I also worked as Publicity Secretary, as Chief Organizer Secretary of the party, and held many offices. And since I joined in 1951, I remain a member of that party up to the end. So we are known to be advocates for human rights, for women's rights, and women equality. So I'm not against her appointment whatsoever.
But Alhaji, given this relationship which you just described, might not be blood relationship, do you think that she'll still be suited to that position of INEC chair in terms of her neutrality?
Well, I don't know if I'm the president, my son is disqualified to be appointed a public officer. To my mind, I think he is a Nigerian like myself. He's entitled to any privilege or rights that I enjoy. And therefore, the fact that by accident of history, I happen to be his father, should not deprive him of any of his rights as a citizen of this country.